Hello, I wanted to welcome everybody here to Math 1000 online. My name is Scott McDaniel. I'll be your instructor for the course. I wanted to tell you just a little bit about me. I've been here at MTSU since 1993, and I started teaching full-time in 95. I've got my undergraduate degree in mathematics from MTSU and a graduate degree, my master's in math, from MTSU. And I finished my doctorate in 2003 from Tennessee State University in education. So I will be instructing your course. In a few moments I will show you how the course is going to be run. And so you'll actually see some screenshots of the actual course before you get in. I'll go over the syllabus, the outline, and some tips on how to succeed in this course. So I want to give everybody again a quick welcome to the course. Definitely contact me if you have any problems. Okay, this is Dr. McDaniel. Wanted to welcome you to the course. I want to show you a little bit about how to access the course. We are not going to be using D2L. We're going to use a website called mymathlab.com. And so one of the first questions I usually get asked is, what are we going to do about a book? You have two options. You can either buy a book at the bookstore that comes with an access code to MyMathLab, or you can just buy the access code to MyMathLab online, and the entire book is actually located online. It is up to you which way you do it. It's a little cheaper, of course, if you just get the online access. But if you need a book, you need to get one from the bookstore. It's a custom book, and I will send you information in a welcome email shortly. Okay, so you're going to go to mymathlab.com, and you will need to register if you're not repeating this course. Now, if you're repeating the course, you can actually sign in and make sure you just register for a new course. And I will give you that course access code in a welcome email that I'll send you. So once you get registered, you will sign in. And so I'm going to go ahead and sign in. I'll assume that you can click register and go through those steps. And you'll see a list of courses if you're repeating it, but if you're not repeating, you'll just see one course. It'll look something like this. And so we'll click on that. Okay, and yours will look similar to this as we come in. I want to go through a few of the things. So we've got a dashboard here that will show you, it should have due dates and things like that appear when things become due. You can watch videos and stuff like that, quizzes and homework, study plan, and you can kind of browse around on the links that you have available. I want to go through the syllabus first. You will have to do a lot more reading and watching in a course of this nature than you would an on-ground course. Let me expand this a little bit. So I recommend pausing the video here and going ahead and printing out the syllabus so we can go through it together. So I'll wait until you pause the video. I will hopefully have emailed you the syllabus in an email so you won't have to go into your MyMathLab to get it. Okay, welcome back. So here is our syllabus, Math 1000 Online. Scott McDaniel, that's me. My office, I've got a map at the very end of the syllabus. You can see where that is, and here's my number. But it's much better to email me. I don't come in a lot during the summer. So just send me an email at this email address here. And it's actually, my email's changed, but I'll get it at this email address anyway. Okay, course description, I'll let you read through that. This is the course you take before you take another prescribed course, either college algebra, the gen ed math, or statistics, depending upon what your major is. I'll let you read the objectives and the topics. We're basically going to work with solving equations, graph those equations. We're going to write linear equations given slopes, and we're going to work with exponents, polynomials, and how to factor, and so forth like that. Website, mymathlab.com. If you have trouble getting into MyMathLab, here's the phone number to call. Okay, you can let me know, but I won't be a whole lot of help. If you call these guys, they're usually on the ball. So you can call that number, and they also have, I think, a 24/7 online chat that I know a lot of students have had success with. Right now, office hours, just virtual. I may try to set up Skype, just to make it a little more personal if we need that, but I usually correspond via email. Placement, I'll let you read that. Materials, okay. So as I mentioned in the intro, you can either buy an online book that gives you access to this site here, My Math Lab. And the entire book is here under Chapter Contents. You have access to an ebook. We're not going to look at these P chapters here. You can certainly look through those. But we're going to start with Chapter 1, really only one section of Chapter 1. And so you can just pull this open and open up Section 2, and there it is if you need the book. You will also need a TI-83 or 84 calculator, the Plus or Silver editions, whatever they are, for the course. We won't use it a whole lot, but enough to make it worth your while, and definitely the subsequent course you'll be using it. Shift this around here. There we go. Okay, so the testing and grading, we're going to have 3 online tests, and I'll go over those in a second. You'll have a proctored midterm and proctored final. Both of those are actually online, but you have to take them in a proctored setting. Normally, this is going to be at MTSU's Testing Center, which is located in the Crooksville main building. I'll give you a website and phone numbers for that. You see the weighting here, so each of the online tests are worth 10%, and the midterm and final are worth 25% each. And then we have also online homework and online quizzes. And so here are the due dates. Hopefully these correspond with the ones on the outline. I do my best to, their due dates are in 3 places for these major assignments, here on the outline and actually in My Math Lab itself. Okay, test. There are 3 online tests. The pre-test, midterm, and final must be taken at the testing center. So the pre-test is optional. If you think you're misplaced and you need to be in the higher level course, contact me and I can arrange you to take the pre-test. It has to be done the first week. The problem is if you wait too long, even if you take it at the end of the first week, you're going to be so far behind that you really won't be able to get into the next class. And I'll be honest, very rarely does anybody ever test out. You've already been placed via ACT scores or Compass scores, and that usually does a pretty good job. Practice test. You have to take the practice test before each test. And this, what I noticed was students that did the practice test ended up doing really well in the test. So now I just make it mandatory. You have to get at least a 50%, and hopefully that seems fair. Let's say you get that 50% threshold. I wouldn't take the test. I'd take the practice test again, or better yet, hit what's called the study plan, and I'll go over all this again when we actually start doing it. To work on the problems that you missed, and then take the test. And you'll get 2 chances on each online test. Okay, so each online test you'll get 2 chances, and I'll take the higher of the 2. There's a little bonus. You'll get 5 extra points on each online test, the test 1 through 4, including the midterm but not the final, if they're actually taken by the deadline. So there's just an incentive for you to get these done by the deadline. I've noticed that students, particularly if they get that first test done by the deadline, they usually succeed in the course. If you do not get that first test done by the deadline, they usually don't succeed in the course. So do everything you can to get test 1 done. And then I'll give you a 3-day grace period where I don't take any points away and I don't add any points. And then after 3 days, you'll get a 10-point hit on your test. So let's say you take it on the 4 days late, and you get a 72, that'll be a 62. So you do not want to hit that penalty. Homework, you have online homework for each section. You have to get at least 50% before moving on, but you really need to get all of them right. And I'll pull that up here in a little bit and show you what the online homework looks like. If you have trouble, there's a website, the My Math Lab phone number again. If something doesn't work, if you get logged out or something like that, any trouble with the technical aspects of My Math Lab, call that phone number. If you have content questions, you can certainly email me. There are also online quizzes. So every 2 or 3 sections, I give an online quiz, and I'll show you those due dates and what those quizzes look like in a moment. You can take these quizzes up to 5 times. I take the highest of your attempts if done by the due date. If done after the due date, you still get to take it, but you only get 1 attempt. And this has to be done before the test, of course. Practice test, already mentioned that. You have to get at least 50% on the practice test before taking the test. It includes the midterm and the final. So the midterm, proctored midterm, worth 250 points. Here's the website to schedule that midterm, and here's the phone number if you need to call. It's best to just use the website given here. And I'll also post that in announcements and emails and so forth. But definitely keep this document handy. Print it out, keep it handy. Final exam. So you need to take the final exam. Let me move this over, make sure you can see all that. It's worth 250 points. It's 40 multiple choice questions. You'll have 2 hours to complete it. I'll be honest, question for question is the easiest test you take. What makes it hard is that it's over everything. It's comprehensive, cumulative. I've given you a workflow here. I'll let you read that. It's hard for me to capture all that on here. But, start here. You watch, there's a video you watch. You're going to watch a video. You take notes while watching. A password will pop up. You need to write that password down. This is sort of the going to class part. Don't try to bypass this. Once you watch the video, you write that password down. It's usually a 3-letter password. You're going to take what's called a video lecture quiz. Now, the video lecture quiz is really just a way for me to ensure that you've watched the video. It doesn't guarantee it, but at the very least, you've clicked on it to get the password. And it'll say something like, "What's the answer to example 7?" And you've written notes. You write down the answer to example 7. If for some reason you typed it in wrong, or but you did watch it, you can just email me and I can reset it for you. It's not that big a deal. And then once you do that, you do the online homework. So you cannot do the online homework until you've watched the video. There are usually about 10% who tried not to watch the video and take the video lecture quiz. They try to do the homework and they can't because it won't let them in, because I've set it up as a prerequisite. You have to do the video lecture quiz first. Okay, and then once you do the online homework, you repeat until you reach an online quiz, about every 2 or 3 sections. There aren't any help aids on the online quiz, but you get to take it multiple times. If you don't do well, hit the study plan. It'll generate problems for you to do based on what you've missed. And then repeat until you hit a test. Now, the test, you have to take the practice test before you take a test, so make sure you do that. You have to get at least a 50% on the practice test, so don't just take it. I mean, you want to try to succeed on those. Pretend like you're taking the test. While they are open book, I really recommend that you sort of form it in the way of a note card. Maybe keep your notes nice and compact, because on the final you get to use a note card, but you don't get to use everything. And the same thing on the midterm, you get to use a 3x5 note card, but you don't get to use everything. And then take the test. The online test you get to take 2 times. The midterm and final you just get to take once. Okay. What else we got here? That's the major stuff. So grading scale, typical grading scale, except there are no D's. So 70% is the minimum you can get in here. And your grade, you can figure your grade out here by this simple formula. Now, I try my best to keep the grade book updated, the weightings updated. If I have to remove an assignment or update it, it sometimes changes the weighting just a little bit, and that can affect your final grade. So remember, I determine your final grade. My math lab does not determine your final grade. So it may be off by a half point or a point, maybe even 2. I do my best to keep that updated, but you can always determine your average by adding up your points divided by the total number of possible points, and that should be your average. If you have any sort of disability, let me know, and if you require any other accommodations, I will do that. Just let me know. Emailing professor. Hopefully you can read through this, but include your name in the course. Not as important this semester you include the course, because I'm only teaching 1 course this summer, and you're it. If you're replying to my email, include the original email in your reply. Be as specific as possible in your question. Don't say, "I'm stuck on chapter 2. I can't be really helpful there." I'll say, "Go to the math lab." But if you're really specific, I can help you out. Okay, and I'll let you read the rest of those. I do get back to you, so definitely expect a reply pretty soon. I'm practically addicted to email, so I usually reply very quickly. If you don't hear back with me in 24 hours, email me again. I often I cannot look at content if I'm on my mobile device. I have an iPhone and an iPad. Unfortunately, it's not set up for Flash content, which is what you need here. You have to have the Flash plug-in. They're working on it, but right now they don't. So occasionally you'll send me a problem, and I won't be able to look at it. I'll have to wait till I get to a computer, and I sometimes forget. I do my best not to, but occasionally I do. If I don't get back to you, email me back, okay? I won't be offended. There's a math lab. I will send you the hours once I get them. It's in the SAG building 202. I'll let you read scholarship, and here is a map to my office, but I'm not here very much in the summer. I can set an appointment if you really want to meet with me, though. One, 2. Okay, now let's look at the outline here. So class outline, you should definitely print this off. Golden right here. It takes me a long time to actually create these. Another PDF document, and when you look at this, I tried my best to have it organized as well as I can. So I've got the quiz due dates are here on the right. Here are the sections you should do in the homework on this week. So this first week, you're doing 1.8, 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3. Homework, I do have deadlines on the homework, but they're sort of soft deadlines. You can do the homework after the deadline without any recourse at all. They're sort of soft deadlines. Now the quizzes are sort of semi-soft deadlines. They are, as I mentioned in the syllabus, if you can do them by the due date, you get 5 attempts. After the due date, you get 1 attempt. So do your best to get these by the due date. And the test, again, sort of a little bit harder because you get 5 extra points if you do them by the due date, and then none after 3 days, and then after 3 days you get 10 points. So 10-point deduction. So make sure you get these tests done by the due date, particularly test 1. It's very telling. If you can get test 1 done by the due date, which in this case is June 20th, there's a high rate of success in the course. Notice this is a summer course. We have 9 weeks in this summer. It looks like 10, but really 1 week here we don't have any classes. They decided for this one summer only, that they're going to cancel an entire week of classes, which makes it difficult, particularly for online. So here are the due dates. I do my best to make sure these are lined up with the ones in my math lab. Let me know if they're not, and we can, really these are to make sure that we get the test done on time, and to make sure that we get the course done on time. Okay, so that is the outline. Definitely have that printed off, and keep these due dates here. Let's go back here to syllabus. Okay, let me show you what you're going to do. So what do I expect you to do on day 1? So on day 1, this is the introduction video, so you don't need to watch that. So you're going to go here to chapter 1, and here we have the PowerPoint notes. So you can click on PowerPoint notes. Go ahead and print these off. So for every other section but this one, I think I also have video lecture example notes, which are the same thing, just not quite as many pages. Okay, so you print those off, and then you're going to watch the video. So let me click on here on the video. Don't know how well it's going to capture a video of the video. Okay. Okay, so you can kind of watch this video, pretend that you were in class, take notes. Let me scrub through this so you can see me actually writing some stuff down. There we go. Okay, and so there's your lesson. So you would watch that. Once you watch the video, you will take a video lecture quiz. Now, where is that? That's under quizzes and tests. So under quizzes and tests, this video lecture quiz 1.8. So the VL means video lecture quiz 1.8. You're going to click on that. And it's going to say, what was the password? I don't know what the password was. But whatever it is, you type it in, and you click OK, and it's going to ask you a simple question. In these first few videos, I want you to sort of evaluate it. I cancel all this. I think that's just chapter 1 and chapter 2. After that, I don't ask you to evaluate the video. It's a way for me to solicit feedback early on and to make sure that we're all on the same page. Let me show you once you get to chapter 2, it's a little more robust here. Now, there are a few videos I've done starting in chapter 2, 2122, that I actually did a live video. And so some students said they wanted to actually see me do some of these problems. So you can click on live video. I believe it's really close to the same examples, if not the exact same examples. Here we go. And so here is a video of yours truly doing one of these problems. So that is me going through one of these problems. Okay. Those are just for good measure. Those are just extra. You don't have to watch those. Okay. And so once you get done with the chapter 1 video, take the video lecture quiz, then you do the homework. And that's all in the flow chart. And so then you do the homework for 1.8. Now it's going to let me do it, but it'll say you must submit video lecture quiz 1.8 before you can do the homework. I'm an instructor, so I can bypass that. You will not be able to. So if it says that, you go, I did not take that video lecture quiz, go back and do that. So you click OK, and then here's the homework. And so like, you'll start number 1. I need to change that though. I don't want, that's a show work problem, and I need to remove that. So when this homework comes up, you have to have Flash. So you can't do it on the iPad unless you have a special functionality on your iPad. Okay, so here's our first problem. Write an exponential form, and it says -2 times -2 times -2. So you can, let's say we're going to put this one. Check our answer. No, and it gives us a little hint there. If you need some help, there's some help aids over here. You can click Help Me Solve This. You can click View an Example and watch an example that's very similar to this, and it kind of walks you through what to do. And then I think it's this one, so we'll click Check Answer. That's good. Now let's say you think you got lucky on that. You can say Similar Exercise, and it'll give you one very similar to it. But let's say you miss it. You get 3 choices in each one. If you answer it wrong 3 times, click Similar Exercise, and you can redo that problem. Now most of these problems are actually not multiple choice. So here we have to use a symbol palette over here sometimes if I've got fractions. I don't have to on this one. So here I'm going to put, let me say 7x to the, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I needed to use that little superscript, 5. Oh, it says I'm wrong here. So let's pretend that I'm going to miss this 3 times. Tries to give me some hints. So it tells me what I answered, and it says, here's the correct answer. And then I've got a red X. I don't want a red X. So I want to make sure I click Similar Exercise, and it gives me another one very similar to it. And so I've got to make sure I put parentheses, the classic mistake, to the, was it 5th? There we go. Okay, it looks like I saved the wrong attempt on this one. So I definitely want to have that one looking good. I think that's it right there. There we go. Okay. And then once you're done, just click Save and move on. Okay, and so I can see here, this first section's got a lot of problems. I've got 34 problems or so, and I see all my red checks here. I want to have all green checks, or not red checks, green checks, all green checks. Okay. Now once you get to a quiz, you can click on Quizzes and Test, and they're online quizzes. Now the online quizzes, these are the ones that are timed. You get 60 minutes. I put a bunch of problems here on the same, over multiple sections, on the same assessment, but they don't have all the help aids. All right. So all those help aids over there are missing. I found students were just using those help aids on every single problem. They really weren't learning the material. They were kind of getting it, but they couldn't do a problem all on their own. So this sort of is a good way to self-check. You get to do it multiple times. I believe 5 times. I take the best score. Okay, so I'm going to close out of this. Okay, and the tests are here as well. And so here's our online test. Here's the practice test you have to take, and then here is the test. Gradebook. Once you want to find out what you make, how you're doing in the class, click on Gradebook. Here is the actual online book. We're starting here with chapter 1, and here's 1.8. And you can click. Now this video is not my video. You need to watch my video. This is another video you can watch for a good measure, but it's not the one that's required for you to watch. And so you're going to click on the book. It'll pull up the exact copy of the book that you would get if you bought a physical copy of the book. Now I'll be honest, personally, I would need a physical copy of the book. I'd like to be able to highlight, dog ear. I might like being able to do that. You may not need it though. I'll be honest, most of the online students do not get a physical copy of the book. That is certainly up to you though. Okay, and here's a copy of the book, and here's 1.8, and you notice it looks just like the book, and you can kind of navigate through here to whatever chapter you want. Okay. A few more resources here. Resources, we have tools for success. You've got some activities, you've got some reviews. Graphing calculator help is really good. How to use the calculator once you get there. We got tutoring services. I believe they help you. I forget how many free hours you get, but you can get started and they can help you here online, so you can definitely check that out. Okay, and you can always post something in a question discussion board. It's best if you email me to begin with. But the very first assignment is to give your bio. Now, just a quick feedback. Students who don't do the bio don't generally do well in the course. There's not much here. Just give me a little bit about yourself, what you do, major hobbies, any outside interest, and post a picture of yourself. Okay, not one provocative, just a nice little headshot or a picture of you with your family or your dog or something like that. Okay? And you're definitely welcome to respond to other people. And I believe that's it for now. I don't want to make this too long. I will send out sort of semi-regular announcements, occasionally video announcements. And that's it. So welcome to the course. I look forward to working with you.